NFL free agency day one is underway, and we have some breaking news here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. San Francisco is losing one of the best guards in the National Football League. Laken Tomlinson is signing with the New York Jets, and we kind of had a feeling that this was moving in this direction where Laken Tomlinson was going to get the bag. Right now, the initial reports do show that Tomlinson is signing with New York to protect Zach Wilson on a 3-year, $40 million deal worth $27 million in guaranteed money. What does that average out to on an average annual basis? Around $13 million per year for Laken Tomlinson. What does this mean for San Francisco? My initial read is that Aaron Banks, the second-round pick from the 2021 NFL Draft, who had somewhat of a rocky rookie season coming out of Notre Dame, is going to shift from right guard to left guard. One, he's going to be a lot more affordable. Two, that's the natural position that he played with the Fighting Irish, which is a big reason why the Niners selected him in the second round as one of the best guards in the 2021 NFL Draft class. Now, coming up on the 49ers Report, I just recorded a 49ers free agency rumors roundup, and we talked about Laken Tomlinson and the fact that Alex Cappa went from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers protecting Tom Brady to Cincinnati Bengals to protect Joe Burrow, and talked about the fact that Cappa got $10 million average annual value. That meant that Laken Tomlinson was going to get 11 to 15, $13 million per year for Laken Tomlinson, so my read on that was correct. With that, here's a 49ers free agency rumors roundup, and this is why you subscribe to the channel, because we keep you up to date with all things Niners faster than anybody out there. What's good? Happy Monday. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of your weeks are off to a fantastic start. Day one of NFL free agency is underway. The Niners have not made any moves as of yet of this recording, as we are coming to you on the channel, 12:42 p.m. Central, emanating from Dallas. But on today's show, just going to do a quick 49ers free agency rumors roundup because there is plenty to get to. We start with the quarterback position. Another potential Jimmy Garoppolo destination is no longer in play for Garoppolo. Mitchell Trubisky has signed a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is going to move forward with Trubisky as the starter, so they are now out of the mix for a potential Jimmy Garoppolo trade. But according to Ian Rapoport, there are still teams interested in Jimmy G, including the Indianapolis Colts. Other teams on top of that who are in need of a quarterback: Carolina Panthers and New Orleans Saints. But the list of teams who could have been in play for Jimmy Garoppolo continues to dwindle. What's also interesting is that Mike Sando of The Athletic said that there is a potential possibility that Garoppolo does not get traded until training camp, and there are additional rumblings out there that the 49ers are thinking about having Jimmy Garoppolo back in 2022 as the starting quarterback and Trey Lance as the second stringer. So a couple of takeaways there. The shoulder injury is certainly problematic for Garoppolo's trade value. He's not going to be able to throw for, up to this point, 15 weeks right around training camp, and this is a quarterback who's been injury prone throughout his career. This is yet another injury on top of the previous injuries on his throwing shoulder. I do not think that the Niners are going to move forward with him as the starting quarterback. I think it's more realistic that they outright release him to open up cap space to pursue some of these free agents. If the San Francisco 49ers move forward with Jimmy Garoppolo as the starting quarterback in 2022 and they sit Trey Lance again, that is going to be organizational malpractice. The whole point of moving up for Trey was to take advantage of him being on that rookie contract. If you bring Garoppolo back with that cap number around $26 million, it prohibits you from building out the rest of your roster, and it wouldn't make any sense at all. From the offensive side of the football to the defensive side of the football, Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, saying that the 49ers have been aggressive on the cornerback market, and they're reaching out to some of the top defensive backs on the free agency market. Atop that list for everybody, all 32 teams in the National Football League, including the 49ers, J.C. Jackson of the New England Patriots. It's pretty telling that the Patriots haven't inked him to a long-term deal. They didn't even place the franchise tag on him, which really paves open an opportunity for him to sign elsewhere, and he is going to secure the bag. Jalen Ramsey's making about $20 million per year. J.C. Jackson coming off an all-pro year. 8 interceptions last year, has been tremendous the last couple of years, could reset the market and make even more than Jalen Ramsey on an average annual basis. The 49ers bring in J.C. Jackson. It improves the defense even more, and from week 10 on, we were talking about one of the best defenses in the National Football League. They'd become even better with J.C. Jackson, one of the league's best corners in the fold. A couple of other moves that we have to look at because it directly impacts San Francisco and some of their own free agents. Alex Cappa, formerly of guard for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, signing on with the Cincinnati Bengals, goes from protecting Tom Brady to now protecting Joe Burrow. He is going to be getting $10 million per year. What does that mean for Laken Tomlinson's market value? Tomlinson is probably going to demand more than Alex Cappa because he's the better guard. He's been consistently available, and he grades higher and better than Cappa in pass protection as well as in the run game. So I'm looking at Tomlinson potentially making anywhere between $11 and $15 million on an average per year basis. Another signing that could impact San Francisco and one of their own free agents. Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle, signed with the Chicago Bears. He really got paid handsomely, $13.5 million average annual value. So now this means that DJ Jones, probably the next best defensive tackle on the market, could get around $10 million per year. You look at quarterbacks, offensive line. 2 most important position groups on a football team. I think you can make the argument defensive line is 3rd in that pecking order. That's why teams are going to be willing to pay DJ Jones and maybe even overpay DJ Jones. And if it's $10 million per year, he should go elsewhere and get that cash because I don't think the Niners can offer him that. Now, we're doing a 49ers free agency rumors roundup on today's show. And when they make a signing, if they make a Jimmy Garoppolo trade or any move, we have you updated right here on the channel. So make sure you hit that big red sub button down below as we get closer and closer to 60,000 subscribers. News, rumors, live shows, mailbags, best audience interaction with the faithful. Hey, the easy solution if you want the best Niners coverage on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel. Couple of more notes to get to. San Francisco, according to multiple reports, and Josina Anderson checking in on former Packers wide receiver, and I guess still current Packers wide receiver, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. And there are additional reports out there that the Niners have shown some interest in Ray-Ray McCloud, Jakeem Grant, and Kalif Raymond. Now, Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a burner. He is really a vertical field stretcher, and the Niners have shown some interest in wide receivers who can stretch the field vertically to open up a lot of underneath routes for George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, as well as Brandon Ayuk. So the consistent theme at the wide receiver spot, the Niners really want and are prioritizing a wide receiver who can take the top off of the defense and really open up the offense on those underneath routes. That's Valdes-Scantling. Ray-Ray McCloud, Jakeem Grant, Kalif Raymond, on the other hand, are all good, like 4th and 5th wide receivers who are very, very good special teams players. And let's say you bring in Jakeem Grant, formerly of the Chicago Bears, Ray-Ray McCloud of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They would immediately upgrade your special teams units with the return game, and I would absolutely love those signings. You can play them a little bit in the slot. Special teams units last year for San Francisco were not good, especially with their returners. Those 2 guys, and Kalif Raymond for that matter, would be immediate upgrades. Some people have already signed with certain teams. There are a lot of players who have not signed with their next destinations, or a lot of teams haven't retained some of their own players. So you tell me in the comments section, who do you want the 49ers to sign on the free agency market? Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel, formerly the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, did sign running back Chase Edmonds, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, basically $6 million guaranteed. This is notable because Miami did have interest in Raheem Mostert, but because they paid Chase Edmonds and they signed him to that 2-year deal, one, they have a lot of running backs. Two, it takes Raheem Mostert out of the equation, I would think, with Miami. Does that open up a return for him to come back to the Bay? Kansas City. We talked about this on yesterday's show as I did a video from at home. Kansas City, according to Jeremy Fowler, working on a new deal with pass rusher Frank Clark, and the Chiefs are trying to keep him. Now, it's unknown right now if they're going to be able to reach a contract agreement, but if they do, Clark will go back to KC, and then the Niners won't go after him via trade or try to sign him in free agency if he was cut, because he does have a $26 million cap hit here in 2022. I like the scheme fit for Frank Clark, because playing opposite of Nick Bosa, a lot of opportunities would present themselves for him to get after the opposing quarterback. The character issues, somewhat of a concern for me. Before we hop on out of here, I know a lot of you have subscribed. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel right now. Best 49ers news and rumors here on YouTube, and we love interacting with the gang, but also turn on those notifications. Therefore, anytime we push out a video, you will be notified. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on the 49ers Report. We're only getting started. Free agency coverage right here on the channel. It's finna be lit.